This morning, a warning from the FBI about the potential for the enemy within. As tensions with Iran escalate, counterterrorism experts are raising concerns Iran could activate sleeper cells already here inside the U.S., especially troubling right now for a regime like Iran that has a long history of using proxy groups to carry out terrorism.
You don't need nukes to destabilize a country. You don't need a carrier strike group. You don't even need ballistic missiles. Sometimes all you need is patience. We're watching, obviously, escalation overseas, discussion of boots on the ground. Casualties already are mounting. The rhetoric's heating up. They're getting emboldened. Our administration is getting emboldened by the day, saying what they're going to do and this and that. That now it was our decision, not our chosen ally, to actually strike. But this is what history teaches us, is that when global conflicts expand, they don't always stay over there. We know that. Now, I want you to look at this here. This is a 2026 sleeper cells in America risk map, okay? March 2026. You see the different San Jose, Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, Irving, San Diego, Austin, extreme alert. We can talk about that one in a moment. Houston, Dallas, Miami, Tampa, Washington, D.C., Newark, Boston, NYC, and Minneapolis. What you're seeing here is, if you pay attention, major metro corridors, ports, capitals, infrastructure hubs, and military concentrations. You see Florida, military spying, grid sabotage, West Coast, tech espionage, intimidation, Northeast, targeted assassinations, political spying. Southwest, kinetic attacks, lone actors. So we also had the Department of Homeland Security has warned of potential lone wolf and cyber attacks amid the ongoing strikes in Iran, according to law enforcement bulletin obtained by ABC News. But if you notice the pattern of the maps, these are not random locations. These are high impact zones. You're talking about transportation nodes, economic centers, media visibility targets. And that's how asymmetric actors work. Not about territory, but about impact, fear, terror. Now, does a map like this and the warnings that we got mean something's going to happen tomorrow? No. But what it does mean is that vulnerability does exist. And when geopolitical tension rises, vulnerability becomes leverage. World War II had sabotage operations on U.S. soil. Remember 9/11? Whether it was quote-unquote sleeper cells that have been quietly living here for years, or a false flag. Cold War espionage networks, they operated in silence for decades. The thing is that what you have to realize and accept is that conflict doesn't always look like armies. It doesn't look like Red Dawn. Sometimes it's just waiting. Sometimes it's embedding. They're embedding. And, you know, if you remember the Russians, when they called all those agents, the one was like wound up being on Maxim as a model, living here. There's a lot going on in the world. And again, you're hearing things of lone actors. We had the incident in Austin, right? He was wearing a Property of Allah hoodie, had a Quran in there. Now, was he working for a group, or was he a lone actor or a false flag? You don't know. You can't know these things for fact. I mean, do you not think we don't do these sort of things? Our intelligence agency doesn't do these, or pays people to do these sort of things? Of course we do. Sometimes, again, it looks like one motivated individual deciding to act when tension spike, like the guy in Austin. We saw a few months ago, National Guard members shot. One of them died in Washington. And we're seeing this global unrest ripple outward. Now, Pete Hegseth was asked about it directly today, and this is what he had to say.
About Iranian sleeper cells and kind of what has the Trump administration been doing to kind of monitor these threats?
Across the interagency, in full coordination, of course, we're paying attention to any potentialities there. This is a former regime, that seeks to export that ideology and try to sow terror. We're ready for that. We've seen these types of folks before, and the American people can rest assured that we're vigilant on that.
Right here.
Secretary, thank you. Kind of a follow up on that last question. There was just this, what appears to be a terrorist attack in Austin yesterday. How does that change the operation at all? What effect does that have? And
It doesn't change the operation at all, and I know the authorities are executing exactly the way they should.
So it doesn't mean everything is coordinated. Could be lone actors, but it does mean something important. When the rhetoric increases, the risk changes. When foreign conflict intensifies, domestic threat calculus is shift, right? Not paranoia, is seeing what's around you, what happens. We know through history, and you don't need organized network to create chaos. One person can disrupt the city. One small team can shut down infrastructure. We could theorize a lot of these food plants that were set ablaze and trained to run. We could even make arguments that maybe that's what these things were. California fires, we could say that's what these things are. We don't know for a fact, but it's very, very well could be a possibility. When you look at trying to get the American people on board with the government movement, that's when false flags happen. Historically, that's happened too, where countries, even the U.S., tried to, and maybe they have, but it came out they were trying to create a plan to attack Americans to get them behind the war movement. It happens. So could it be Iranian, Hezbollah? Maybe. Could be ourselves or one of our own allies to get people fired up. Okay. Tucker Carlson said that our chosen ally operatives got caught trying to do something. Okay. So false flags are always on the table, because especially when you have people that's questioning, a lot of the masses are questioning what's going on right now. You got to get people behind it. 9/11, everybody in the world wanted to go to war, right? Because they attacked American soul. And that's how that play is. A lot of it's psychological to get people behind movements, right? But again, the realities are, we talked about MK Ultra, we talked about the algorithms, people getting radicalized. All it takes is one radicalized individual to create national headlines. Now, if you layer this in, boots on the ground overseas, which I think they're going to do it, because I've heard scuttlebutt is that so family members have leaked that their children have told them that they're deploying there. The OPSEC is dead these days. Very real possibility. And if you look at the conflict extending weeks into months, because it doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. It could happen in a few weeks. And how long this thing goes, you never know. And if the retaliation becomes asymmetric, the battlefield gets blurred. It's not guaranteed. It's not inevitable. But the probability rises. It just does. So again, look at this map here. Keep an eye out in these areas. Okay. This is DHS Homeland and Threat Assessments. Notice all perfect locations, right? If you're planning some kind of attacks. And that's why situational awareness matters, man. Awareness, not being paranoid, not having fear, but being aware. Know your damn exits in public spaces. Sit where you can see the entrance. Who's coming in and out. Freaking stay out of crowded events. Scan behavior. Eyes, heads, hands, right? Look at these things. Identify anomalies. Carry medical gear. Tourniquet in your vehicle. Your purse, your man purse. Trauma kit accessible. Okay. We make that stuff. We sell different ones. You could get just this type here, our IFAC. Now this thing goes into our pouch here, made here in America. Centerline Sisters, this is made in America too. We carry cat tourniquets, arguably the best. American made, North American Rescue. All of it goes here in this kit. Has this quick nifty pull tab. That way you can whip the gear out. You see these red tear marks. That way, and the kit's sealed, so that way its contents are protected. If you want a smaller model, we carry this small wallet kit here, and basically this thing pops open and has all your gear there. Carry this in your purse, ladies, right? Obviously, power goes out. You're going to want a flashlight. I like our flashlight that I designed. Strike bezel, right? Flash and smash. Carry a reliable EDC, right? With backups, okay? Got to reload those mags, right? And have a communications plan with the family. PACE plan, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. We talked about the Faraday bags. We talk about the ghost phones, you know, things like that. I'll put links to all this stuff down below. But having this stuff, having a way to get out of something like the Gray Man pry tool here, that way you can fight, get out, pry open a door, do all those sort of things. And this is the thing, guys, this video is not meant to be a sales pitch, but I live the preparedness lifestyle. That's why I started a preparedness company, right? We got our Gray Man sling bag here. This will fit in here completely in the pouch. So that way you can have all this, have your EDC in here, everything, your medical gear on your body at all times. Have these things ready, okay? If something goes sideways, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of preparation, whether that's training, physical fitness, the gear selection you have those things. Now, training is huge. Knowing what to do, when to do it is important. Now, we got the Gray Man protocols, and we got Gray Man protocol hard copy, Gray Man Volume 1. If you're on an email list, you found out that Gray Man Protocol Volume 2 Urban Survival Edition is coming out tomorrow officially, but it's out today for you guys. I wanted to give the ability for folks to get their hands on it. I had hundreds of emails asking me to make a hard copy of this, and it took some time. Here it is, hard copy. But if you see here, this is not just a book. This is a training manual. I want to make that clear because people are like, oh man, it's a book. Why does it cost so much? Because it's a training manual. But you see, it's almost 2.5 times the size of Gray Man Volume 1. It's a serious edition. This thing costs a lot of money to make. We self-published it with a local publisher. Okay. So it's not like I had some big corporate thing. I self-published this with a local publisher. So I kept small business, small town America, and those sort of things. So again, this isn't a novelty. This is a training manual. I expect when you buy it to train it. There's drills in here. All the yellow pages are drills, training drills for you to practice real time, real life. Also, we have a digital copy if you want those. But we're going to sell it at a discounted rate for the first 48 hours. So make sure you go ahead and jump on that. But it's got urban awareness, movement discipline, environmental reading, behavioral anomaly detection, preparedness mindset, man, putting your go bag, your vehicle, and so on. Study it. The thing is that we're living in an era where lone wolves or these type of attacks can be coordinated better. We have technology to do it. And there's a lot of possibilities, not just taking out civilians, but also infrastructure attacks, right? Water supply and so on. Chinese have bought up farmland around military bases, water treatment facilities, and so on, right? Preparedness is not political. Let me tell you that. It's practical because a lot of people are so, I notice it now that people are so politically blinded. Like, they have taken it like it's their religion. It's the craziest thing in the world to me. They can't accept reality. But whether or not this conflict escalates or cools down, the world is not going to get less volatile. You don't need to panic, right? Just stay sharp, discipline, stay ready. Anyway, screenshot that map, take a look at it, and be aware, guys, because obviously they're warning us, and whether or not it's real, false flag or not, you may be in the space that happens. So stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Black Scout.